what's your least favorite thing about working with me?
Is this a safe space?
You have some shady questions, but you're asking if it's a safe space.
Working with you, what's the least favorite?
There's a whole list, y'all. Hi guys, what's up to another exciting episode of the people's favorite podcast, Sincerely Accra. And of course, you know who I am, so I'm not going to say my name, but no, I should, because, you know, maybe somebody's new on the podcast, but you're listening to Joseph and T, you know what I mean? Anyway, I want to give a quick shout out to the Gold Coast Report. That's the GCR network, the premier podcast hosting network in the whole Ghana. And, you know, I usually give a shout out to my co-creator and my producer, but I'm not going to do that today. It's not because we are fighting, but because he's here. So do your shout out yourself. Do your shout out yourself.
Hey guys, this is Mr. Asante. Yes.
That's not how you sound. Why are you trying to sound all sexy?
Oh, why are you the ones for the brand?
Oh my God. Anyway, as you can see, we're reporting live from LA.
And Charlie.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Is this the first episode back?
I guess.
Yeah. But like, so you know, we've done this podcast for 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody has ever. Well, there was that one time you spoke on the podcast.
I think I've
or like
been
twice.
twice. This is the third time in 8 seasons. So this is season 9. So this is like the third time.
I promise you're the only one that keeps up on the seasons.
It's my job. I'm the producer.
I don't know how many seasons we've done. How many episodes do you have?
Whew.
I know it's past 100, but
we're getting close to 200.
200?
Yeah. We're getting
That's
close to 200.
wild. Just been talking.
Yeah. Talking.
Yeah, anyway, guys, so, you know, Kwame decided to come on the podcast today. Will you tell them why you're on the podcast?
To disturb his life.
That's not possible. You know, I remain unbothered. I'm constantly unbothered.
Anyway, I'm here because this is the 9th season and
we're ending the podcast, guys. There's no easy way to put it. Like, let me just rip the Band-Aid off. This is our finale. Tell them why.
Don't mind him. We're not going anywhere. Basically, this is the 9th season and Joseph and I felt the need to be here to, you know, for you guys to get to know us a bit more.
Is that the direction of your questions? For them to get
so we both said 10 questions. I don't know the questions he said. He also doesn't know the questions I said. So this should be fun.
No personal questions shall be answered. I'm just saying.
We'll see.
Okay, that's cool.
We'll see.
No, who is starting?
You're the host.
No, you know. Well, as the host, you will be starting.
Okay. My first question.
Wait.
Why are you running?
No, I not thought about it. Let me start.
Okay, go ahead.
God.
So you watch
I didn't understand what I meant. Wait.
Breathe.
Yeah, before we get into that, like, welcome back. Happy New Year. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. How you do? I know you guys are broke. I know you're still recovering. You're still waiting for the January pay, huh? Yeah, I know. But anyway, it's cool. Just don't borrow over 500 Ghana cedis.
Facts.
I'm just saying. Because then when the money comes and you start to disburse, you'll be left with nothing. Yeah, okay. So now I'm going to start. My first question.
Okay.
What do you find most annoying? Walking behind slow walkers or waiting at an ATM behind someone who doesn't know how to use it?
I think walking behind slow walkers.
Why?
Because what if you're in a hurry or in a situation where you have running store?
Excuse me. Like, just tap that. Excuse me. And just
and then like Charlie, and then slow walkers.
Because you can't do anything about ATM. Like, you have to wait.
What?
Because when you get close, it's like a security breach.
But you know, with the ATM thing, I feel like the money is yours, and unless it's like a critical emergency,
Why are you like
patience.
No.
And it's not, maybe the ATM is just slow, but slow work it's intentional. You are intentionally working slow.
You can ask them to get out of your way.
Oh, well.
Anyway, it's your answer.
It's
So
my
you
answer.
think what's more annoying are slow walkers?
Slow walkers, yeah.
Okay.
Are you ready?
This conversation was supposed to stretch a little bit.
Well, you failed.
All right, your turn.
Anyway, my question to you is, I mean, you said this on the podcast several times.
Oh, okay.
Why are you scared of rejection?
No,
why?
Is it supposed to be a therapy session?
No. Because,
my
guys,
God.
let me give some context.
Jesus Christ.
So I think last year we were nominated a couple of times for numerous of awards. I think about 5 or 6. And every time it will come, right? And we put it in the group, Joseph will not say a thing. Just ignore. So literally it's Cyril and I, like, you know, trying to put it out there. Oh, we've been nominated. And Joseph is like, yeah, I've not seen this. Why? Like, where is the genesis of this? And are you working towards, like, moving past it? Because, I mean, we do a good job. Those nominations will keep coming.
I just want to say that there's like 10 people in this room. And I'm supposed to present like it's just the two of us.
Well.
But anyway, I have deep-seated trauma from losing the head prefectship election in my high school.
Okay.
So I don't like to put energy behind things where people have to vote for me. Like, if you think the podcast is great and you're going to vote for us, why do we have to come and do, hey, 2 more days, vote for us? It's so beggy. I don't want to beg for votes.
But,
like,
I mean, it's, even the Oscars, they campaign for votes.
Who?
People.
I see all the ladies campaign for votes for anybody.
So they put out billboards, they talk to the academy.
Management.
Yeah.
Their management. Yeah, so GCR can put a post, not me. Like,
Jesus Christ.
Like, the most you get out of me is like 1 post. And it'll be very passive. It'll be like,
we have to.
I mean, that's why there's a account for the show.
Cyril.
So you get a, oh, wow, oh, thanks.
You've heard.
But I'm not gonna, yeah. So wait, the question is, yeah, I've answered it.
Will it get better?
I guess we'll never know. You know, like we won 1 award last year.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, but then also like we were not physically there. You know, I keep thinking about like how if maybe it's an award where we are present and then we win, I'm gonna go up on the stage and say like, can you check to make sure that
guys, the trauma is deep. It's crazy deep.
No, but also I mean, it's just yawa. Like,
what is?
I don't know.
You need to get over it. You do a great job. I mean, nomination is sort of a win, and then the win is the cherry on the
But
pie.
that's a bold-faced lie. When it was, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be nominated, y'all. I'm just glad. Hey, that's a lie. You know you want to win.
It's giving first runner-up energy.
Like consolation prize. Right. You have to like for all the pictures. No.
But you need to get over it, Joseph. Honestly.
Who says I do?
I mean,
variety is the spice of life. Let me tell you. So somebody needs to have a fear of rejection, and somebody like you doesn't have to have that. Anyway,
guys, this year definitely will get some nominations again. You know, if you don't see
the social media account will post.
Okay,
and I will like but not retweet. Like, yo make so much noise and it's the best podcast and there are votes. Like, why do I have to like literally be in people's faces and say vote? And then remember the very first time we got nominated for the Pulse and we were like neck to neck with Sex and Sanity.
I think some of the trauma comes from there.
No. It's from high school.
Because that one was wild.
Yeah, it was very close. And then they won.
Yeah.
And of course, I mean, where's Cyril?
Don't drag Cyril into this.
Anyway.
Say what you want to say.
No, I mean like sister podcast on the same network.
Yeah.
So a win is a win. My turn.
All right.
Okay. What is your version of how we started this podcast? Because I feel like I've told the story before. But what is your version?
Interestingly, I have a question that is similar but different. My version. I I mean, you got invited onto Free Your Mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, Joseph and I have been friends for long.
BlackBerry Messenger.
Charlie.
Yeah.
And creatively, we share a lot of ideas together and whatnot. So I think you were invited on Free Your Mind. And after you got invited, you came to me, you were like, oh, like you had fun on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
You're thinking we should do something like that. So we're throwing ideas around. But at that time, you didn't know Cyril and Donald were friends of mine. We actually went to the same high school. I intentionally didn't bring it up because...
Quick sidebar, Kwame knows everybody.
That's a lie.
You know too many people.
I know people, but not everybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
So, you told me, but I intentionally removed the part where I know Cyril and Donald because I wanted it to be something that if we're doing, it's something that they accept because it's good, not because, oh, we happen to know Kwame.
No nepotism.
Exactly. So, yeah, I mean, we threw about some ideas and the first one, Saga of the Returnee type situation, that didn't go too well.
You know who the person today I feel like I should mention his name.
Don't do that.
Is it no? But anyway,
don't do it,
guys. Like we were going to do a whole investigation. So honestly, it was because I had just listened to Cyril.
Yeah.
And so we wanted to do like an investigative podcast series, and every season will be focusing on one main thing. And the first season was supposed to be the Saga of the Returnee. So like we're going to talk to a bunch of people who have left Ghana and come back and find out how like, assimilating back into the culture is like. And we spoke to this guy. You've been living abroad for like 6-7 years and now you've come back home, you're living with your parents. And I had asked him, how has coming back here to live with your parents, how has that affected your sex life? And he's like, it's okay. I mean, like, where is the entertainment value in that? Tell me how you have to wait for your parents to sleep to sneak somebody in. Tell me how you're going to movie houses. Like, give me the substance.
Yeah, I remember editing that episode and reaching out to you. I was like, Charlie.
You know who you are. You killed that idea.
But there was silver lining in that. Because after like I tried editing and I realized there wasn't much there, even though it was supposed to be like some investigative style podcasts, we came up with the Vox Pop idea. I mean, that's what we led with. And I remember we were driving down the N1 road. I think we had gone somewhere. I
do not remember.
I said, you won't remember too. So we were driving down N1 and we were just throwing ideas around and we're discussing how shitty that pilot episode was. And then the idea for, why don't we do Vox Pops, anonymously? Because when we meet with our friends, they say a lot of shit, they say a lot of crazy things, but then, they feel safe because they know it remains there.
Yes.
So we're like, okay.
Very cancelable things.
Oh, yeah. Our friends are wild. That I could tell you. So, yeah, we both liked the idea. And I think Serralio was still doing its thing. Like Friday.
Bring your own bottle.
Bring your own.
Pay the gate fee.
Yeah. So I think that was the first one we did. No. Actually, no. You went to a private party.
I went to a house party.
Yeah. You went to a private party.
You're making me now look at that person that like that horrible interview as the reason why we switched.
Really? They were the reason.
Oh.
So yeah, we started off and the responses we got because it was anonymous and the questions were crazy.
And people were slightly drunk.
There's that too.
Yeah,
so yeah, that's how Sincerely Accra came about. The naming of it though,
go on to your next question.
That's a whole different story, but yeah.
Some horrible names.
Anyway.
Okay.
I mean, my next question, guys, so Joseph knows a lot of creative people. He surrounds himself with a lot of very intelligent creative people. So even though we were friends, we would bounce ideas off each other. I've always wondered why he particularly picked me to work on the podcast with him.
No, this nigga fishing for compliments.
No, wow. That's what you're doing now.
Because you are the one that I thought could see the vision through. You ain't shit, please.
No, listen. So Joseph, no, listen, guys. Again, context. Don't mind him. So
your question is why you and not all the other creative people that I know?
Yes, because you had worked on...
You're a producer at VOA.
No. But still, you had worked on a documentary with Bishville. You had done Odunsi prior to.
Yes.
So you knew people who could have like jumped on this and gone like, hey, we'll do this with you. But then I was like, okay, I guess.
That's not true. Like all of those projects was like very experimental, right? They were doing a documentary. I shot it with Micaiah, who was a photographer. He didn't know how to shoot video. He learned whilst we did it. And after we did it, it took us 8 months because we were now learning how to edit video to be able to edit that. Like it was all very you were already like working in radio and podcast is kind of like radio. Yeah. So like good fit, right? And you were already like doing creative stuff. Like we had worked on your disability film and everything. So yeah, I feel like it was, and we already used to bounce ideas off of each other. So it was already like, it was easy. Yeah. Okay. Like skills, you had the skills. I'm not going to talk about the skills that you're out. Like, what is this?
Okay. So I was the hire who made sense.
Oh,
I mean,
no, but you know, why you want me to say? Oh my god. Okay, like he's super talented.
Anyway, next question. Yeah.
No, let me finish.
Okay.
No, he's super talented. He pays attention to detail. I'm going to tell you, I approached this podcast in a very lackadaisical way. Like, it took me a while. Kwame always wants to have a production meeting. I'm like, wait. And then he was like, I'll send you production. The first time Kwame sent me production notes, I didn't understand why I had to scroll twice on my phone. Like, why? Like, we already know what we're going to talk about. He wants to have a meeting, notes will be taken, then there's a production note, and then we have to go over it. And it's always a check-in. Like, before it became the norm, it just felt like it was a lot. And then I look back on it and I'm like, if I had done it with somebody else, we'll probably not be as serious. Because like Kwame's like, and you know, every time we have like a meeting and you have to talk about like maybe like partnerships and whatever, I'll be honest, I don't be paying attention because I know that he's the one who's not paying attention. Because by the time like maybe whatever meeting is done, Kwame's like, oh, so I have some questions, and I'm like,
Cyril.
And then Cyril, you heard that? I'm like, I completely agree with Kwame.
Actually, he always says that, and in my mind, I'm like, okay, we are on the same wavelength. Sana, you're not listening.
We are. The wavelength being that I believe your wavelength. Wait, whose turn is it?
It's yours.
Okay. Okay, question number 3. In the 7 years, how many times have you wanted to stop this podcast?
Let me see.
While you're thinking, mine is every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks, I want to give it up.
Why?
It's a lot of work.
It kind of is.
It's a lot of work.
It kind of is. I think for me, twice.
Twice? Yeah, in the entire 7 years?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I can't wait for you to have children. Then you can see if you still love the podcast the same way.
So I guess I compartmentalize everything that I do in my life, including this and work and whatnot. And yeah, twice.
What were the instances? Actually, never mind. Let's move on.
Well, the instances, one was, I think there was a week, something was about to happen, and it was just, we got some, this was 2 years ago, we got some gig where it was a sponsorship deal, and they wanted like 10 episodes back to back.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So then, so the podcast is like bi-weekly.
Yes.
But because of that, we had to do it weekly, which was crazy because like the turnover, is it turnaround time or turnover time?
Yeah.
Whichever one it is. For the podcast is like a week and some days. And so now you have to like do all of that in like 3 days.
It was crazy because you and I have our 9 to 5s,
Yeah.
very demanding. And then here we are having to make sure that we have like 10 episodes within a number, like a set number of weeks. And at the end of the day, trying to figure out the episode topics, making sure that everything is within the entertainment value that we have created for ourselves.
So that it's not too adverts.
Exactly. It was a lot, and having to edit like every week. Plus, it was the end of the year, so of course for our jobs,
and you're getting invites to events that don't start on time. Yo, entertainment industry, you guys, you need to do better. Like, don't invite me to something and say it starts at 8 and it's gonna start at 1 a.m. That's just crazy.
I feel it's not gonna go away for a while.
I'm of a particular age, y'all.
Anyway, so yeah, that was one of the instances. It was too much for me, but Charlie, we powered through. The other instance,
we can move on.
That's in another question that I have for him.
Oh, why is that here?
We are in season 9. Why not? We can talk about it.
We cannot.
We can.
Okay, move on.
Yeah. Oh, so it's my turn.
Yeah, it's your turn.
Since we are on that,
is that a natural next question? Don't move it up. You arranged it in the order that you wanted to ask.
Okay. All right. So the next question: after 8 seasons, this being the 9th, what do you think we could have done different?
In like the past 7?
7 years, but 8 seasons, just being the 9th season. What do you think we could have done different?
State of video.
See, Joseph.
No, I hate video. Like, I don't understand. Like, the podcast is an audio thing, and then someone's great idea in the world was to start doing video for an audio thing, and then now everybody has to do video. Like this, I think you guys had to it took you like 2 years to convince me to start doing video. It's just a lot of work.
I mean, from a production standpoint, right? Yes, podcasting, when it started, it's audio, part of the new media rage or rave, I should say. And it got to a point where most podcasts were heading towards video. You understand? So as, a podcast that is a torchbearer in this country, I get to say that.
All right. Torchbearer.
I get to say that. Top 5 consecutively. Anyway. Why?
No,
yeah.
Top 5.
Yeah. 825. No humility. But yeah, I felt like we should, in a way, situate ourselves in a position where, of course, audio is king for us, but video would also push us, because during COVID, a lot of people were discovered on YouTube. And I felt like, why not? Like, a lot of people now understand.
But you know that we kind of blew up in COVID, because even though we didn't have video, people were listening to the listener letters at the time.
Yes. And I mean, I'll get to that. But at least that's where my mind was for video. Why not?
You and Cyril.
Yes, Cyril and I. So we pushed video so that at least people who enjoy, YouTube. And to be honest, for most of the people in the diaspora, when they are home on a weekend, relaxing, they like to look for Ghanaian content on YouTube.
To watch.
Yes, to watch. Okay. So myself being in the diaspora and experiencing that firsthand, anytime I visit my friends, I felt,
greetings from abroad.
Yeah, I felt like, why not? It would be nice, to be part of the searched content on YouTube. So I pitched the idea. Joseph hated it. But eventually it was 2 against 1, so he didn't have a choice. But, I mean, now we have some insights, we do have some insights. We understand that audio is still king.
Video is a lot of work, y'all.
It's necessary, but audio is still king. I think we came to understand that a lot of people enjoy our product audio-wise when they are like working or cleaning their house, or sometimes when we have listener letters, they gather around like maybe they're having a games night and then they play the episode and they listen to some of the letters and it becomes a debate.
That is still so wild to me. Like sometimes people send me pictures of like their friend groups listening to it.
Mhm.
I'm like, this is so crazy.
Yeah, Charlie, that's what we've become. So I was like, okay, that's interesting. It looks like for us, even though we were pursuing a new format to add to what we already had, we never forgot about audio, by the way, but it just gave us the insight as to, okay, audio is still where your numbers are. 40,000 listeners a month is not. I mean, why are you shocked?
It's still here.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not child's play. So we decided, okay, for this new season, we'll continue to go hard on the audio. I mean, usually I'm in charge of that, so it just means that go crazy on it, have more fun with it, make sure the content is crisp. And yeah. So that's that.
Very PR. Very
trained.
PR. I feel like you're the serious one here.
Am I not?
Shade, yo. Anyway, the next question. What's your least favorite thing about working with me?
Is this a safe space?
You have some shady questions, but you're asking if it's a safe space.
Working with you, what's the least favorite?
There's a whole list, y'all.
Okay. Let me say this. I mean, it's gotten better.
Don't PR it. Like, I'm not gonna PR it. I feel like you're just trying to like.
No, I need to pick my words carefully because at the end of the day, you're still my friend and I don't want to get blocked.
I mean, there's like 10 people here. What's the big deal?
They'll leave and then I'm left with you. But
don't worry.
So I mean, he explained later. When Joseph has an idea, right, he pours it out. So sometimes, literally, there was a day I was eating fufu, like, my hand was in soup. And then he called and he just started talking. I was like, okay, I hear you, but Joseph, can you call me back? I'm like in the middle of eating. So for him, when he has an idea, it's like in the spur of the moment, he wants to pour it out. And for me, I felt like, I feel like work is being thrown at me during my downtime. Yeah. So
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, initially I didn't get it, but later I actually approached him. I asked him about it. I was like, what is that about? And he was like, oh, for him, when he has an idea, he just wants to, it's like a notepad. He just wants to throw it out there because he's kind of scared that it might evaporate or the concept that came to him might switch up. Or you forget. So when he does that, it's not because, he's trying to give me work in that moment. It doesn't mean that what he's telling me has to be executed in that moment. He's just sharing it with me so that I can have it at the back of my mind or I can have it in our chat, So I got that. So yes, that was something, but you explained, so we're fine.
Okay.
Yes.
Now it's your turn.
Hey, good.
But I think about work being thrown at your downtime.
Hey, you asked.
You've done some. You do some.
Well, what was the hardest moment for you dealing with the podcast?
I think, the tone of the podcast is very like high energy, happiness and all those kind of things. And as an adult, you're not always happy. And so there are times when I have to perform happiness. And that's very draining because it's like you're broke, you're dealing with one or two things. And then Kwame is like, I need the episode tomorrow. Can you send me the audio? And you have to come and sit there and be like, hi guys, oh my God, welcome to the exciting episode. I'm not excited. It's like, yeah, I feel like when we first started doing it, at least for like it's funny. For the first 4 years, before we got the Spotify recognition, it was like such a breeze to do. But I don't know.
I mean, the pressure.
Yes, it's like, and it's not even necessarily pressure from like the podcast, but it's like just things happening in general and just having to still perform happiness on days when you're not happy. I think that's the most challenging thing.
The interesting thing is, and you have mentioned this before, I'll say you're a great actor because in editing, the episode, I usually listen for cues, and there are times that Joseph will record and I go like, okay, the energy here was a bit, let's re-record. And in my mind, it would come across as, oh, he's tired from work or something like that. But I never caught, whim of, okay, Joseph is not tired, so Joseph is not happy, so this is performative. I never caught that. And
I'm a professional, baby. I'm a seasoned professional.
But yeah,
it is what it is.
I
learned from the greats.
Well. Considering Beyonce is your like
Beyonce, Wendy Williams, Oprah Winfrey.
Yeah. I just remembered our first production meeting, the two of us.
Oh my god!
It was a Sunday.
Back then, I was gonna approach the show from like an NPR, like, hi guys, welcome to Sincerely Accra.
Like,
Kwame was like, no, re-record this.
It wasn't gonna work for me.
I was being so serious. I was like, this is a professional. Anyway,
honestly, when you sense, I think I still have that first recording.
You do?
Yes, I think
maybe one day we should put it out. That would be so funny. Oh my goodness.
I think I do, because I told him, Charlie, the notes and like what I had in mind for Sincerely Accra, the persona wasn't what he was trying to do. That whole I'm on poor thing, it wasn't going to work for me.
Well,
so I told him to mash up 3 personalities into one, and he did a good job. So the word he hates, kudos.
And now when people see me outside, they're expecting me to be like, hey, what's up? Anyway, I think I'm supposed to how long do you think you're going to do this podcast for? How many more years do you have in you?
Bruh.
When we started a podcast, you could bend down and kneel easily. Now there's a creak.
30 plus. I mean, we have a lot of listeners. We do. Sometimes it blows my mind, but from episode 1, my approach to the podcast has always been, it's just Joseph and I, and then we are doing this to entertain like 10 people who would care to listen. Yeah, honestly, that's when I'm working on the podcast, I'm not thinking about the thousands of people who would listen.
It's more than 10.
I know. But when we started, I think our first numbers, I still remember, it was 300 people listened to our first episode.
Which was also very wild to me.
Yes.
Because I thought it was going to like 50 people. I was like, where are they from?
Exactly. We had 300 listeners. And for me, I was like, if 300 listeners, took time off to listen to this, I'm going to try my best to edit and produce this audio piece in the best way that I can so that they can enjoy it. And I remember having fun with official Kwame 5 Fingers, his song on the episode. Fingers. Yeah. So I've always kept that mentally, that I'm just producing for a small group of people.
So what you're going to produce for as long as those 10 people are alive?
No. Point is, my mental state is, it's fun for me. I'm trying to, prove to those people that they've tuned into something quality. We have an amazing host. There's an amazing producer. So enjoy it. If it happens to be tens of thousands, well, good luck to them. But I'm still, in my mind, I'm still trying to entertain those 300 people who first listened. So it doesn't give me pressure. So moving forward, I mean, audio is still king. You can still record no matter where you are. I can still produce no matter where I am. So for as long as...
until it's no longer fun.
Until it's no longer fun.
All right.
Yeah.
Your turn.
All right. What was the happiest moment for you on the podcast, like working on this podcast?
Oh my goodness. When Afro Nation asked us to do backstage interviews, that was so wild. I was sitting next to Tiwa Savage.
Charlie.
Honestly, I was really looking forward to interviewing Rema.
Yeah.
Until the second day, and then that thing happened. I was upset.
Yeah.
But I got to meet P Square, Like they were sitting next to me.
The whole place shut down to make sure that Joseph would talk to P Square, and I was looking at Joseph,
and
like,
that was so wild, right? Because like we had to come at like 4 p.m. to do like pre-production.
Yeah.
Bruh, they built a whole setup behind the stage. Okay, like sound, everything. You have to come in there. Like I felt like I was like working on a very like serious, I was talent, guys. Like, it was so nice. Like you had access when you were coming in. We passed the special. We had special parking, bruh.
It
was so nice. There was like special food at the back and everything. Yeah. Oxlade, Tiwa Savage, P Square, Jackie, Black Sharif, Camido, Kitty, Kwame Eugene. Yeah. And then we met Masego.
Oh yeah, Masego. I love Masego.
And Sauti Soul.
Yes, we met Sauti Soul too.
It's like being at the backstage at like VMAs or something. Like random celebrities were just passing around. It was really nice. No, because I remember like when the email came and I was like, I remember thinking like me, like well, like, oh yeah, Bianca, right? And
yeah,
like,
Bianca,
we have me in the office and my UK accent's not working. But basically we're like, oh yeah, it's a couple of people for you. It'd be really great to do this. I was like, okay. It was a video call.
It was a video call.
I think we videoed it, right?
Yeah.
No, that was crazy.
We did.
Yeah.
I mean, it was fun for me. So I think that was, the best time on the podcast. And for me, I felt like this is such a great opportunity. We are not going to slack. So I remember before we even went to do the whole production backstage, I was bothering this guy with pre-production notes. Get to know your artist, what's going on with them.
I had to do research on like 10 people.
Yeah.
And then only for us to get there, and then they hand us questions. They're like, oh no, you're just supposed to ask these 2 questions. I was pissed.
Because Joseph used to have...
We printed out cards. We had like at least 10 questions to pick from. I remember Tiwa's manager came in and she was like, can I see the questions, please?
Yeah.
She's not doing this. She's not doing this. She's not doing this. Just this. I was like, it was crazy.
Yeah. Because Joseph usually has something like a Christmas party on the 26th. And he was hosting, like he's the host of the party anyway. So we were there, his friends. And then every 30 minutes, I sit him down like, we need to study this. You need to do this.
Links. Did you know this about this person?
I had a presentation. And he wasn't having it. But I was like, bro, the next day is the thing. And then we got there. And I think years of experience just kicked in. Because
it's just I'm a seasoned professional.
Yeah.
Listen, it was so good. So they had a Nigerian production team, right?
Yes.
And we're like, we want to take you back to Lagos with us. I said, take me.
so hype saw what they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was
whose turn is it?
It's your turn.
If we didn't do the podcast, what creative venture would you think would occupy your time?
What creative venture would occupy my time? For me, I think my life on earth is just to tell stories.
Wow.
No.
So deep. My life on, like a Golden Globes Emmy award acceptance. So deep. Go on, what's your purpose on life? Yeah,
truly, I feel like my life on earth, my purpose is to tell stories, and it's through different mediums. So we became friends because I was writing
Kwame
stories
on BlackBerry. Oh no, WordPress, but
I would share it on BlackBerry. And for me, I felt, even at that time, I felt like Kwame side of the story had dominated. So I was telling the story through Okonoria's, point of view. Yeah, so I would paint the full picture and how she would view some of these interesting, laws and stories. So that was my perspective. Then on to, my documentary.
The disability one.
The disability one.
Do you know we even did a short film that never came out?
Yes, we did. That is still somewhere, but we'll never see the light of day. Yeah. So I've always felt like I want to tell stories, and it doesn't always have to be fictional. Sometimes it could be real life. It could be whatever. But through different mediums. So once I was done with the writing aspect, I moved on to documentary. Then we became friends, and then we started, the podcasting. Yeah. So for me, it's always going to be me telling stories, but through different mediums.
Would have been another medium.
Another medium, but definitely telling stories. And right now I feel like we are documenting Ghanaian pop culture.
Oh yes.
Yes.
People will be citing us in their thesis in 20 years' time.
Because our approach has always been to celebrate the people we have on this couch.
Where else will you get like a receptacle where you can go and listen to what people think, how long a man should last in bed in 2017?
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine? You're like, oh my God, this is what they thought?
I mean, that's not all we are about. We've had greats like,
I'm just saying, it's one of the things like...
we've had Efia in our couch, we've had Ajiti Annan, we've had Miss Bell. And for us, the line of questioning is always starting from where you began as someone who has contributed to pop culture to what you're doing now. So 30, 50 years from now, anyone can check out a Sincerely Accra episode and be able to tell that, oh, okay, so this is how Ajiti Annan started his career.
It's always such a pinch me moment, like, because like these are people that, like, when I was a child, I was listening to Miss Bell, idolizing Pusha and all those kind of things. And like, I've interviewed them.
Actually, and he sometimes I feel like it doesn't hit you.
Oh, it hits me. I just don't show it. Jesus. I like to flex.
You distress me, past.
Yeah. Hi, Ajiti. What's up? Okay, cool.
Oh, God. But I love the fact that we've always taken the approach of these people,
like, get to know them.
Yeah, get to know them. Yeah,
And
I mean, you adding the flair of, oh, it's like two friends talking. That approach I think it makes them feel very comfortable, because we've always had inside scoops that sometimes they don't even realize they are saying, but they end up telling us things that they would never say out there. Example, Kiddy, when he said he started learning production because of Kwame Eugene. And that went viral. I was like, oh my and,
God.
Pusha, and then him.
Even the bandana thing being a mistake.
So,
cool
I'm happy about that, honestly.
Is it my turn or your turn?
My turn.
Okay.
What typically inspires your work ethic? Because, guys, this boy, he doesn't sleep.
Oh, that's pretty simple. Beyonce.
You can't just say Beyonce. Not everybody.
No, because
is a Beyonce
let me tell you
fan to
something.
understand what you mean. Yeah.
When I was in Ashesi, there was a documentary that Beyonce did. I think it was the Year of 4. And at the end of it, I was looking at the credits and I saw that a majority of the footage, she shot it herself with her MacBook.
Huh.
Because I think it kind of broke the fourth wall for me, because I used to think of like videos and documentaries as these like big productions where you have like these heavy machinery following you around. But I was like, it's just her. And that was also like the first time that, I used to watch MTV behind the scenes of making videos and things like that, but they never really centered how much work she put in those kind of setups. But when she started telling her own story, like how she's involved in everything, and that's the thing. A lot of times when I say like I'm a part of the hive or whatever, people always make it so superficial. Like I learn a lot from her work ethic, like how she approaches like the presentation of her art and all of those kind of things. And so it's always about getting the work done. I actually hate excuses. Like sometimes I'll be like, I'll be sick and I'll never tell you. Then you'll be like, oh, why did that take longer than you? I'll be like, oh, because I was sick. I just didn't want to. I don't like those excuses, I'd much rather like be dead and they'll say which sad events happened whilst he was trying to work. Try to put out some good shit. You know what I mean? Yeah, like I just feel like and people always say, oh, Beyonce has the same 24 hours in a day with a lot of assistants. Yeah, but still, I think I thought about it and I was like, as a human being, you have a lot of downtime.
You do.
So I'm like me, anytime I'm not doing anything, or maybe like I'm in between doing stuff and I have to do interview questions or whatever, I like open my notes app and I'm quickly like working until now I have to go and do something else. So yeah, it's just mostly Beyonce. And you know what? In another, my mother, because my mother has also like juggled a lot of things And I've seen that. So yeah.
So at what point do you take time to rest?
To rest when we go on break, but here we are. We're supposed to be on break.
No, but on a more serious note, because sometimes I actually do worry.
Oh, I mean, I do. Listen, I do parts like, I go on trips, Oh no, but I have slowed down considerably. Trust me. Like, I started my YouTube show Tabled. The idea was supposed to come out now I'm just like, I'm too tired. I'll put out the next episode when I'm ready. So yeah, I think I have definitely slowed down now.
Okay.
Because I prioritize rest. Yeah.
Yes.
Which is when I come in, like sometimes like maybe things are not ready at the studio. I'm like, Kofi, you're wasting my 30 minutes. I want to go home and
now
sleep.
Kofi being dragged into this conversation,
yeah,
and Kofi has the headphones right here. He's looking at
he's listening to it. I'm talking to you. Yeah. Oh no, but I do prioritize rest more, We're of a particular age.
Okay.
All right, it's my turn. What is your editing process like? How long does it take you to edit one episode? Because for me, it's just go into the wardrobe, or if it's a video, whatever, I come here, I'm done, I send it. Unless you have re-record requests. But like because you add sound bites, and also like when you have to mix the vox pops. Because I realize when you arrange them to tell a story, and then you have music, and how long does it take you?
It depends. It's easier for me to edit and produce long form interviews. Because with that one, you're just listening and...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like, and typically because pre-production, we've already set the questions and we know how the flow will be. Once I get into edit mode, it's easy. I know, okay, this question didn't work. Let me take this out. This answer was iffy. Let me do this. Let me do that. The difficult aspect of working on a podcast is the vox pops. Because, yes, I don't just put vox pops together. I'm quite anal about it. It's down to a science. Like it has to tell a story. It has to be interesting. It has to flow. It has to feel like the way you listen to music. There's a bridge. There's this. There's that. That's how I want our vox pops to feel. Yeah. So usually, what I do is when you send the vox pops in, I listen to everything because Joseph will be on my neck. Make sure you listen, because if you ask me to go for more...
I mean, because sometimes you'll be at work on a Tuesday and he's like, oh, I didn't like the responses. Can you get me some this evening? On a Tuesday night?
I mean, the work is the work.
I'm like, listen when it comes in so that I know when I have to go out again. Because right now, I don't like going anywhere.
Well, but yeah...
Which is so funny because Kobe Graham is here. And I remember we had this conversation. He told me that, look, he has stopped going out. And I remember back now, I was thinking, he's old.
Yeah. Now look at you.
Bruh, like when you invite me out, you have worried me.
I mean, particular age. But yeah, once you send them in, I listen to everything and then try and pick the interesting responses out. Then once all is done, I separate them into boys and girls. And for us on this podcast, we always make sure that
his gender balance. Oh my God. We don't have enough female voices. Go back and talk to the women.
Yes. It's very important. Gender balance and everything in between. It's very important.
I'm here for it though. Affirmative action. That's what it means, right? More women?
How did we get here?
Guys, listen, I used to teach, seriously.
Now you're trying to convince them.
It's a brain fart. No, like, what's affirmative action, guys?
Oh, goodness. But yeah, I always make sure
tell me, what is affirmative action?
Affirmative action is making sure that there's gender equity, I believe.
So I was right.
Hey, am I wrong?
Oh, not him not knowing, Denzel.
Hey, production.
You know what? Move on. He's about to move on.
Anyway, so yeah, make sure that both men and women are balanced out. And for us, we also make sure that every person is represented, across spectrums as well.
Diversity.
Yeah. So once that is done, then I start arranging, okay, what's the theme that this group of people are trying to put forward? What's the theme that group of people are trying to put forward? Then I arrange them and try and find music. So interestingly, for the past 8 seasons, we have played 90% Ghanaian music. And for me, from day one, that was very intentional for me. I wanted to prove a point that Ghanaian radio, Ghanaian new media can use just Ghanaian music without ever having to tap into, other countries, and we will still be good. So that has been very important for me and has continued through all 8 seasons and will continue into this season as well.
I think it's the point where you let them know your email account so they can stop DMing me.
Guys, just check our socials out.
Email him your music. Everybody like in my DMs, oh, can you play my song? I'm like, sure, just email this guy.
So yeah, they and I typically pick songs that match the theme. So sometimes people would hit me and say, "Oh, the song you picked here, this, I've never heard it, but it kind of works with what."
Yeah, I've discovered some really good songs. Yeah,
thank you.
And also let them know it has to be good,
guys.
Some of you like you said, let it be good songs. The fact that you said doesn't mean it's gonna get played.
Facts, yeah,
but let them know.
For us, all upcoming artists, or they said I shouldn't say upcoming artists.
What's the new name?
I don't know. What did Cube say? What did Q say?
I don't remember.
Emerging artists?
Emerging, yes. Emerging.
So all the emerging artists, please, sincerely Accra, I don't need your money. Just send your music. If it's good, we'll play it. This is not traditional radio where you have to
good
pay payola.
What we define as good. Not your friend said it's good, so you sent it.
Yeah.
So you'll be walking around with no taste.
Please send your music. It's very important. Yeah. So, and we've had artists who have become like family to us because every time they release, they send their music. Walasi, 99 Phases.
Murphy,
Yeah, Murphy. So many artists. Yeah.
Reynolds.
Yeah.
Is it your turn or mine?
I think it's my turn.
But we have 3 more questions. For anybody that's listening and wondering, why would they shut up? Just 3 more questions.
Okay, this is a random question. Why fufu? I mean, fufu.
Why not fufu? What the hell?
No, fufu is nice and all, but like, what's the obsession?
Okay.
Because,
At a point, I used to live with my dad. No cap. My dad eats fufu every day. Monday to Sunday.
Why no?
There's a reason why my palms are hard, guys. I used to pound the fufu all the time. And I remember when I moved back to my mom's house, she was so upset. So she used to put shea butter and sugar in my hand and just say, rub.
she's trying to get their hands back.
No. And I think I appreciate it because of the soup. The soup is everything. And another thing is like when you start working and like you're thinking of what to eat for lunch, it's a hustle. It's a hustle because like if you're going to eat wache, the pepper can mess you up. You're going to buy rice and stew. You can never miss with fufu and light soup. Like that's the basic because you don't eat groundnut soup just anywhere, guys. That's a tip. So fufu and light soup. No, fufu is everything. What are you talking about?
No, but
what?
Okay, well.
Like, what should I eat instead of fufu?
No, yours is an obsession.
What should I obsess over? Tell me.
Ghanaian food, there's bangkwe and okro, there's, moving away from the rices, there's what...
What do you obsess over? Which food do you obsess over?
I love bangkwe and okro, actually. Okro stew, not the soup. I hate okro soup. I love okro stew. And fun fact, I hate boiled yam, but I love fried yam.
You don't have taste.
Wow.
What? Boiled yam?
I hate it.
Oh,
it's a trauma response. So
Did somebody throw ball yam at you?
So when I was younger, right, I went to a friend's house, and Ghanaian hospitality, they served us, and it was what I am. I'd never had what I am before. So in my mind, the yam looked kind of translucent. I was like, oh, maybe it's fresh yam, plus the abomu was looking nice. I
said translucent.
Please. I have a Bachelor of Arts in English.
Talk about it.
So,
do you put like flexing on this podcast?
Oh,
I know. Self-acclaimed.
That's all.
So the what I am traumatized you.
Hey, it was nasty.
Yeah, that one is nasty.
It was nasty. And since then, when I see boiled yam, I'm like, no. Yeah, it's not for me.
You're missing out.
Ugh.
It's your turn, by the way.
Yeah. Okay, so now
avoid
the question.
Chaos. Avoid
the
chaos.
question you wanted to. I'll ask it. Okay, so, a lot of people didn't know this, but from 2019 to 2021, Joseph and I weren't talking. Yes. I mean, hey, let's get into it.
Was it 2 years?
It was 2 years.
That's crazy.
We didn't talk for 2 years. And
but we're still producing the show, though.
we were still producing the show. The way we'll talk was through email or through Cyril. Yes. Cyril's in the room with us.
It was
chaotic.
It was a very interesting time. Very formal language.
Very, very formal. And I honestly, for some reason, I thought you would quit. So I'm wondering, like, what made you stay on? Because we weren't talking. We never spoke.
What made I stay on?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a bad bitch. You can't kill me. I'm like, what? You can't kill me. No, like, the thing is, I understood the importance of the show that we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that no matter what age, I've always had a certain level of maturity to see the bigger picture. You know what I mean? Plus, I followed pop culture so long. I've seen how ego has ruined a lot of things. Yeah. You know, there's so many groups and things that have disbanded because one person thought they could go out and do it on their own. And, you know, but yeah, no, but also, you know, most of what happened, you know, was my fault. And so I took full responsibility for that. It was just a situation where Kwame didn't want to accept the apology. And so he was being a bad bitch. And I was like, cool, real recognize real, but I'm going to be here. Because low-key, I felt like he thought, like, I'll say I don't do it, and I'll go and try and do it with somebody else. And honestly, ain't nobody gonna do it like Kwame. And if I go and do it in the flops, that's a stain on me. So I was like, yeah, send the email. I'll reply back with my formal language. Nobody was crazy though. Kwame, you are petty, Jesus.
No,
so fucking like what I got. He sent me a random message. He was like, wait, 10:30. He was like, I want to let bygones. The way I rolled my eyes.
I called you. Actually,
you called me. Yeah. No, you sent a message first.
Did I?
Yes, you sent a message. Some long ass text message.
Did I?
Yes.
It was a phone call. No. It was a phone call first.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it was a phone call first.
Okay, well, there was something like, like when can you take a call or whatever?
Yeah.
And I knew it was coming.
Yeah.
I knew it was coming.
And when he picked up, he was like, he mentioned a random name. I was like,
really? That's not true.
Yes, you did.
I have your number saved. Why would I mention a random name?
You mentioned someone's name. And I was like, no, this is Kwame. Like,
did you call me? Like, were you in Ghana when you called me?
Yeah, I was in Ghana.
Okay, then I didn't have his Ghana number. Because this one, if you're not his friend, you won't know when he's coming to Ghana. You know when he's leaving. No. It was a lot.
Yeah. But hey, we talked it out and here we are.
Yeah.
Thick as thieves. Now I'm the petty one. Anyway, yeah.
It was a lot, guys. Like, can you imagine doing a show with somebody for 2 years? He's not talking to you.
He's triggered.
But it was my fault, so I'm just gonna let it be.
I mean, there was Cyril. Cyril
became like the third person.
Yo,
like, go and tell Cyril to come and tell me. Then I have to.
Hey,
anyway, my next question.
Yeah.
All right. So, who among these three artists would still be relevant if they never stopped music? Lord Kenya, Kunti Hene, and Asem.
Why are you asking me this question?
Why aren't you like the music person? Who would still be relevant? Like, think about it.
This is a solid question.
The time when these guys were making music, who was making music then and is still making music now? Would you say Samini?
Samini is still making music. But the three names you mentioned, these are great names.
Yes. Kunti Hene and Lord Kenya were kind of before Asem.
True, but Asem... Now, let me get into this.
Oh my God. Come on, critical breakdown.
You've triggered me. It's a very difficult question because Lord Kenya's contribution to rap in Ghana is like he changed the scene. Kunti Hene was one of the youngest people to ever receive Artist of the Year under Ghana Music
like 19?
Awards. I think so. He was very young. And Asem was one... When Asem came into the system, infrared and Bluetooth sharing had become a thing. So that is how he marketed his music.
Not infrared.
Yes.
Can you imagine? Guys, there was a time when we used to have to send... Oh my God.
Like your phones are together. They don't know. And then you have to share.
You have to put your phone together.
Yeah. So Asem revolutionized like how, you could market your music because he was the first artist who was using Bluetooth to actually distribute his music for free across phones.
But even his sound
was different. And every year he would do like a look back, year under review.
Yes, you remember he used to do those things with his music where he would be very playful with the year. Oh my God.
Yeah. So
who would be still relevant?
I can't pick. I can't in good faith pick.
Really?
Yeah. All three of them are great. I know recently, about 3 years ago, Sam tried to revive his career. That didn't really go well.
Don't let him hear you.
I mean,
or better this song, I'm out saying.
but even for him, I feel like, it was just spur of the moment. He should have just rested. But still,
you can't pick.
If I have to really, 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 really pick, I'll go with Lord Kenya.
Really?
Yes. Lord Kenya's sound is undefeated. Lord Kenya made rap in a way that felt like pop music. Enyomono, Sikaba. Remember when I mixed Sikaba with Material Girl?
Yeah. Let me tell you.
He was dying.
I feel like if you're not somebody that like appreciates music, knows, and also like you be listening to the podcast and just like being like, oh yeah, like do you know how crazy that was? Sikaba, Material Girl. Yeah. Like,
I mean,
they don't get it. They don't get it. But I think that I think it would have been Kunti Hene.
Why?
I just think that the kind of music that he made in the way that he made it, he would easily adapt to today's sounds.
Well.
Yeah. I just feel like Lord Kenya is great, but I can see him having the same, like, you know how Obrafo is not making music anymore?
Well,
because if Obrafo is to put out, I don't know. Yeah, I think Kunti Hene.
I mean, I see what you're saying. I still stick to Lord Kenya just because, music taste. But yeah, I see what you're saying. I see it.
Yeah.
I see it.
That's my answer. What are your answers? Tell us.
Let us know. Sincerely Accra on all platforms.
Yeah. Also, this question is like targeted at people of a certain age. So.
Yeah. All right. So my next question, how do you handle the fame? Because, oh yes.
What fame?
Oh yes.
Boy.
Oh yes.
What fame?
Because, I mean, I'm not here. People know of me, but they don't know me. But you are here representing the two of us all the time. So then it's like, this is a great podcast. It's number one in the country. It's Josephine T behind, in front of the camera all the time. There's a Kwame and Joseph somewhere, but he's never in the picture. He's just doing production and background work. How do you handle that pressure of...
I think, first of all, I don't think I'm famous.
But you are.
I don't live my life like a famous person.
Okay.
I stand in watch queues. Some light went off. I stand in watch queues. I go and eat fufu at a choba in Makola. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think I'm famous. So I can't even answer the question properly because like I'm not handling fame.
Yeah, just cruising.
You know what I mean? I think if anything at all, like if I go out and it's certain events, certain events, like if you go to certain events, oh my God, then you're gonna have a lot of like, oh my God, Josephine T, da, 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 da. But like I said, I'm a seasoned professional. So like I always know how to receive it because I know what it feels like to meet somebody that maybe like you look up to, you listen to, or you enjoy. And I know the experience I wouldn't want to have. So regardless of whatever is going on, you always have to turn on a smile and engage them. I think one of the most important things I always do is ask them what their name is.
Okay.
Yeah. So at least they feel seen and heard. Like, what's your name? Oh, okay. How long have you listened to the podcast? Work. If I remember your name, I'll give you a shout out. On a good day, I'll pull my phone out and write the name and then give them a shout out. But yeah, I don't think I'm famous. I think even famous is like a wrong word to use.
Okay. So what word would you use?
I'm slightly popular. I'm slightly popular.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, guys, I'm not even verified on any of the social media platforms.
Which is a mistake.
Which is a mistake. Why are we supposed to verify me?
There's the offshoots.
You have to buy it now.
Yeah.
And you know how I feel about that?
Yeah.
It's like buying swag.
Facts.
I'm sorry. Like, if you're not a known celebrity, you have a badge, I look at you like that. Like,
I mean, let's not get into that.
No, get into it.
I was gonna say on X, people are buying it because they want to tap into monetizing. So they intentionally now people intentionally bait rage.
Like I can
so that you can monetize.
I can spot a tweet that is farming, like looking for engagement.
Yeah.
I can spot it.
Yeah.
It's so easy. And people fall into the trap all the time.
Easily.
Right now, it's even easy because they always have that stake thing in there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But anyway, so to answer your question, I don't handle it. I don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're next.
Oh, yeah. Okay, this is the last one. What do you want people to understand about you as a person? Who produces the show?
I'm very particular about how I do things.
Perfectionist.
Your words, not mine. I said I'm particular. When you listen to the podcast, just know that everything you hear, at least on the audio side, is very intentional. From how Joseph introduces his one-liners to the particular music we use, down to everything, how it's produced. Everything is very intentional. Every episode is unique. I remember.
Unique? Sorry, go on.
Oh God. The day you meet Beyonce.
Well, technically, I've been in the same airspace as her, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Anyway.
Yeah.
But everything is very, very intentional. So when you listen to the podcast, listen to it with intentionality. Sometimes I drop gems in there. I like it when people discover these gems.
Yeah.
Like why I put them there and the references and whatnot. So yeah, I'm very particular. I guess that's what I want people to understand about me.
In as much as you put the gems there, just accept that it's always going to be like a very small group of people who are going to,
I mean, it's like looking for Easter eggs. Some people like that, so anyway.
So your last question.
My last question.
Finally, my God, this felt like a therapy session, y'all.
I have some question here, but I won't ask it. I'll skip over that.
Avoid chaos. Thank you.
Okay. What do you think the future of our podcast looks like? Avoided chaos.
I don't think about the future of No, I'm lying. I'm lying. I don't know, honestly. I've thought about it, and when like I'm thinking about like life-changing decisions, like maybe, do I want to like relocate? Do I want to go and study? Like every time I think about that, then I'm like, okay, so then what angle will the podcast take on? And then I give it an answer based on what I'm thinking of doing at the time. But I don't know. So I listened to The Read, and they've been going on for like, I think 12 years or 13 years. Yeah, 13 years. Once I thought about it, I was like, how corny will I sound in my 40s doing this show? Because I'm still going to talk about young people things. And I don't want to like come across as like Joe Budden. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Hating on young people is like, so I don't know. I just feel like.
Don't come for us, Joe Budden. We don't have your budget.
Joe Budden most certainly doesn't listen to this.
Well.
I don't think
you
so.
You never know.
But I just feel like if ever I'm like, we are discussing like topics and stuff like that, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm too old to be talking about this. I'd be like, Kwame, I quit.
But I mean,
I swear, I'm like, and I think it's one of the reasons why I don't push for Vox Pops, because I'm also at a stage where I'm like, how do I look like going to certain events at least my age? And I'll be like asking questions like, hey, tell me something that you like in the bedroom. Like, the time that we live is very predatory.
Yeah.
I don't know. All I know is if ever I feel like you're too big for this, you are too grown for this. This is just to show that like I don't have a serious answer for this, but I think if it's going to go on for as long as it's culturally relevant.
Yeah.
That's what I will say.
Yeah. That's a good answer.
I'm not very big on competition. I don't see anybody as a threat. It's so funny all the times, like people are always trying to like pit us against one or two podcasts. I don't see it. I've always said, if there are people doing things, the more of us in the space creates an ecosystem. When there's an ecosystem, that's when you can see you have an industry.
Yeah.
But like having one great podcast does not make an industry.
Yeah.
So I see a lot of young people have started podcasts. Oh my God, why am I aging myself? I'm also young. A lot of people have started podcasts, and it's different angles, different POVs. And there will come a time where I feel like the space that we occupy, in that we're like being culturally different, you know, telling the real stories of like the artists, the POV that we bring up. When I do feel like there are people that are doing it and doing it well, I would definitely have that conversation with you, because the thing I'm talking about topics, we can always like, you know, pivot to something else. Like maybe when we're in our 40s, we can start talking about what it's like raising children in like social media era. You know, you listen to those two white women. I've had it.
No, I haven't.
I listen to them, and like it's so interesting because they talk about like one of them has a divorce under her belt. So she's always talking about like when she was married and she's always dissing her husband. Yeah, I mean like the stage in life that we are at, we can always pivot. But if I feel like, you know, we're no longer culturally relevant, because I learned something from Issa Rae and the last season of Insecure. Always leave when the applause is the loudest. Yeah. I don't want us to get to a point where like it's corny and people are like, what happened to Cecilia Crowd? They fell off.
That's not
it's not gonna be as, it's gonna be like, bring back Cecilia Crowd. And I'll be like, no, darling.
No, but hey, I yes, culturally relevant is the right word. I think with us, that's something that is a part of our DNA. We've always made sure that the topics we address, even the angles we address them from, is always different and always impactful. And I mean, with your brain and my brain always in sync, I think that would remain so. But as we've grown, not to age us, as we've grown, the podcast has evolved. You know, it has evolved where we started from.
We didn't even used to do interviews, remember?
Yes.
And then,
you know, and where we are heading to, we've grown. And our listeners have grown with us as well. So it's just a matter of, you know, two crazy creatives who are just having fun on a podcast and, you know, pulling, you know, a couple of people along. So that's how I see it. And until we get tired of pulling like these listeners along, I think we're going to exist. It might be in different ways, but you still hear this crazy voice and you still experience this crazy.
Say crazy one more time.
Crazy.
No, that was supposed to be a threat. Oh gosh. I need to practice how to be more threatening.
But yeah, that's what I think.
Okay, cool. All too soon.
We have come.
Yeah, guys. That's our episode. Thank you guys for listening, I guess. There's no shout outs on this one. So, but
Oh, no. Oh, shout out to GCR.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Shout out GCR.
Yeah. Wow. No, Cyril is in the room.
We shout out GCR at the end of every episode.
This is the end.
Okay, I was getting to it.
This is the end.
Which song is that?
Adele. Skyfall.
That was off key.
Wow.
Anyway, guys, thank you so much for listening to the podcast. You know what it is? You finally had over an hour of Kwame Asante. You know what he sounds like, how he thinks, and what I'm dealing with. But always know I'm not the villain in the story.
You are.
I'm not. He's the one that hasn't given you guys your playlist.
It's never going to happen, guys.
Exactly.
Look at me. It's never going to happen.
Who's evil here? Anyway, guys, thanks for listening. We love you for listening. Stick and stay for another how many long years that we've got under our belt. A quick shout out to the Gold Coast Report, of course, the GCR network. That's held us down since 2017 when they made us send a proposal.
Charlie.
Of what we wanted to, like.
Sarah was like, yeah, I don't care who you are, just send a proposal.
Can you imagine?
Charlie.
We'll get back to you. Boy, you know as soon as you're ready, you know it was a go. Talk about we'll get back to you.
Yo! How long did it take for him to get back?
I think it was like a week or two.
Hey, Cyril.
Cyril, do you remember how many times? Yeah. And the whole time I was like, yeah, right, nigga. What you mean? What are you considering?
We're now your favorite kids.
Don't say that.
I mean, are we not?
I don't know.
We are.
Hey, ATW, shout out to you. But anyway, shout out to Kofi, our studio manager, Denzel, production lead producer, executive producer, head of production, and everybody else. I had fun.
Hey,
and of course,
shout out to Little.
Shout out to Little. Oh my God. Yeah, shout out to Little. Our camera. What is the right title? Videograph camera? Executive filmer. Thank you so much.
Guys, you realize all these titles he's mentioning them. I've just kept quiet. I'm just watching them.
Like, honestly, dude.
He doesn't know. Yeah.
Maybe this is it's time for y'all to have a teleprompter. Come on, GCR, get me a teleprompter. That will complete my Wendy Williams fancy. But anyway, yeah. And of course, the final shout out goes to Kwame and Fori, who is right here. Sticking and staying for 8 years. Is it 8? It's 8.
It's 9. This is a 9th season.
No, but the years.
8 years, yeah. This is the 8th year.
8 years. Can you imagine? Mm-hmm. Can you imagine? Anyway, we'll catch you on another one. Make sure you're always checking for us because it's a good time. No, it's always. Let me do it again. Make sure you catch us on the next episode because it's always a good time on the Sincerely Accra podcast. I love you. Thanks for listening.